Inland Empire residents or know of any, please contact me or Mr. Romer, and we will be glad to get things started once again. Thank you.
Good job, good job. You know, everybody tells me it's very hard for the IBRBS to roll off the tongue, so a lot of us have just gone with the Brotherhood. And I think that says it all, it's a Brotherhood. Anyway, let's get ready with this raffle. No, Rob, you want to talk first?
Yeah, they said you talk first, otherwise no one will do the raffle.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll keep it as short and succinct as I possibly can, but I know there's a lot of questions we want to answer. I'm Rob Figley, and I'm the president of the International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas. I want to tell you all that being the president of this association is a highlight of my life. Being elected to the board of directors originally was a great responsibility and a great joy to me. Being asked to be an officer is even greater, and spending this past year as your president, well, it's been very interesting. I've been asked to speak directly to one question, and the question I've been asked to speak to is, what happened? What happened this last year? What happened that our association split, fractured once again? What's going on? And if that two-word question, what happened, is the question, then the two-word answer is this: nothing unusual. Nothing unusual happened. I'm going to have to give you a little bit of a history lesson to really understand what's been going on here. The definition of insanity, if you go into any kind of ministry or psychological work, I'm sure this is on the internet too, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Anyone familiar with that phrase? Okay, very good. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The Santa Claus community, since the inception of what we'll call the modern age of the professional Santa, let's call that 1994-95, with the invention of Aorbs. Since in the modern era of the professional Santa, we have broken that cardinal rule over and over and over again. As an association, as a variety of associations, we have done the same thing to set our associations up, and they have fallen apart in the same way. For instance, when Aorbs was founded, it was a nice little social gathering. It grew very fast. It grew very, very fast. And it needed to become some kind of representative government. They needed to put together a structure. When they finally got together to talk about a structure, the first thing they decided was, well, we can do this in-house. We can do this on our own. The Santas and the Mrs. Clauses who got together to put together the original paperwork for Aorbs were not professional people. They were not lawyers. They were not tax accountants. They didn't understand nonprofits. None of them had ever written a nonprofit charter before. But because they wanted to do it themselves and save a few bucks, they set that charter up. Well, most of us know what happened to Aorbs. And the main reason Aorbs fell apart was because it was set up that way. It was set up that someone eventually, who really wasn't a Santa Claus, could come in and rip the place off and steal the name. And that's exactly what happened. So we fast forward a few years to 2008. After Aorbs has come pretty much apart and things kind of going bad, a group of people here in Orange County, people who here formed the original Forbes, which I think there's 4 or 5 of you here right now. Raise your hand if you're with the original Forbes. Very good. Excellent. The people who were there to form the original Forbes wanted to create a national organization out of the ashes of what they saw, the burned out Aorbs. So they got together and they created Forbes, the Fraternal Order of Real Bearded Santas. I have absolutely nothing personal against these people. They are marvelous men, every last one of them. They had the best in their hearts to set this up. They learned a lot from the mistakes of Aorbs, but guess what? None of them are tax accountants. None of them were lawyers. None of them had ever set up a nonprofit, especially in the last 5 to 10 years. So they set up the corporation in-house on their own. And then they filed it with the state of California. And of course, the paperwork was done wrong. And through a very long comedy of errors that stretched all the way from 2008 to this previous last year, 2012, we have gone back and forth with the state of California trying to figure out what was wrong with our paperwork. Well, I could go into a detailed conversation as to all the errors that were made in our paperwork. It could take 2 or 3 hours to do, but let's just sum it up really, really briefly. We screwed up. We weren't paying attention. The board of directors every single year believed the person who had been volunteering to be our accountant told us everything was fine, your corporation is okay, it's a little glitch, it's being taken care of. We heard that over and over and over again. It's only when this last breakup happened this past year that we took a good hard look at our bylaws and our legal situation, and we found out, guess what? We were doomed before we started. If someone hadn't come in and stolen our name from the state of California, someone else was going to come in and do it because we left it open. We did a terrible job of setting it up. One of the things that I try to tell all of my Santas up in my area, and I think all of you do the same thing, is hire a professional. You're all professional Santas and Mrs. Clauses, and you know what it means to be able to go into a house and say, I'm a professional, or go into a business and tell them, I'm a professional Santa. I hold myself to a higher standard than everyone else. That is my feeling as a Santa. But we've turned around and broken that rule. When we set up our association, we didn't hire professionals, pardon me. We did not go and get professionals. We tried to do it ourselves. We tried to save a few bucks. And what happened? Someone came along and took our name. Registered our name right up underneath of us, it's gone. The name of Forbes is no longer belonging to a national association. We'll never see it again as far as we're concerned. So we get to start over again. Third time's the charm. This time, there have to be some changes. One of the things that's going to change is our bylaws need to be rewritten by a professional, by someone who knows California tax code as it currently stands and can give us a set of bylaws that we can actually work with. When we presented our bylaws to our attorneys after this whole fiasco started, the very first thing they told us was, these are a mess. Are you trying to work with these? Oh, no, this is bad. You have to get rid of that. We fought very hard and very long now to get our house in order with the state of California. We've paid a lot of money, your money, in back taxes. We've spent a lot of money, your money, on attorneys. Ultimately, we were going to have to spend that money anyway. It didn't matter if someone came and took our name or not. It really didn't make any difference because our paperwork was flawed. All this did is bring it to the forefront and put it out there. Excuse me. What's going to happen in the future? About 2 or 3 months from now, we're going to be complete with the state of California. Our final paperwork is in their hands. They have it. They have our last check. Sooner or later, before this year is out, we're going to be straight with the state of California. When we are, we'll go back and straighten out our nonprofit status, and then we'll start moving forward. We'll start working towards a new association. First thing we'll do is write up a new set of bylaws. The attorneys will write it up. We're not going to be able to give our members line item veto control over our new bylaws, because it is the line item veto power that brought us to a large extent to the problems we have right now. Much in our bylaws is contradictory because it's been changed along the way. That needs to be straightened out. We need to reach out more to the smaller groups, to the smaller population areas. Folks, this is where it's at. Regional events. This is where your backbone, your bread and butter, your lifeblood, everything is at. This last year, starting this year, Kevin alluded to this, no fewer than 11 different Santa organizations have sponsored regional events. So far this year, on the 14th, the Colorado Society of Santas, and on the 14th, the Michigan and Ohio border area Santas have had their reunion lunches. On the 19th, yesterday, the LLPS Longleaf Pine in North Carolina held their reunion event, had 35 Santas show up, had a great time. Also yesterday was the Central Illinois Santa Claus Gathering. Of course, this weekend, the SoCal Santas, you're all here right now, we're gathering here. And next weekend is going to be the Pacific Northwest Santas, my group, yeah, we're having our gathering. Be aware also next week, Forbes is having their regional event down here in California. Be also aware that on the 26th of January, the 26th in another week, the Hoosier Santas will be gathering together in Indiana. The next day, the New England Society of Santas will be gathering in Boston. And on the 16th of February, the Atlanta Red Suit Roundtable. And then, not too long after that, on March the 1st, the Arizona Convention of the first ever Arizona Santas are getting together. Folks, we have no shortage of regional events for you to go to. You're within driving distance of one of them, I guarantee you. We made it down for this one. I had to fly, of course, but that's okay. But That in a nutshell is what's going on with our association. It's kind of dirty, it's kind of messy, it's the kind of things that you have to deal with when you're an association. It's the kind of growing pains that have to happen, unfortunately. We don't like it, we're not fond of it, but you know what? When we get done with this, when we finally get finished with the state of California and get our taxes straightened out and get our bylaws rewritten and get all that stuff taken care of, we're going to be one solid, hard-running organization. We have grown in population since the beginning of this. Chris just got done telling you we're at 120. I happen to know we're closer to 150. But 1,020. 1,020, I know we're closer to 1,050. We have about 30 more members. We've picked up at least a new member a day for the last several weeks. We're growing. People want to belong to our association. We're where it's at, folks. So, you know, really, it's not as bad as we think it is. It's another bump in the road. So we changed our name. Big deal. Basically, the name doesn't mean anything. What really matters is us getting together and having a good time. Does anyone have any questions? I'd love to answer some. I know we didn't cover everything, but I'd love to jump out and answer any questions you might. Yes, by all means.
Last year, we paid to go down to San Diego for the luncheon. Included in that luncheon was the price of the photo album. We've never gotten it. I've been waiting a year.
So have we.
What's going on?
Here's the deal. We broke cardinal rules. Cardinal rule number one is when we went out and sent a contract bid out for the photo book last year, a Santa Claus bid on it and aggressively campaigned and lobbied to get that contract. We awarded him that contract. He then proceeded to not fulfill that contract. He did not take the pictures of the places he was supposed to go. He did not get the group pictures he was supposed to have. He didn't follow through with what he was supposed to do. He did not present to us the finished package in the time the contract said. By the time the board of directors got a printout, a version of the copy that we could proofread, that was pretty late in the summer. And by the time that proof got to us, we, the board of directors of the new organization, had been served with legal papers by the people who took the Forbes name and re-registered it, demanding, under penalty of suing, if we do anything with the name of Forbes or Forbes logo, we'll be drugged into court. And unfortunately, that photo book has Forbes name and logo all over it. So technically speaking, the people who have taken the name have barred us from producing it. And even if we could produce it, it'd be very hard to do because it's not a very good product. It's not laid out well. It has way too many errors, way too many pictures missing, captions are wrong, names are listed to the wrong people. It's a problem. A big mess.
Being charged for something I'm not getting.
Well,
I'm on Social Security. I'm on a fixed income. Okay? Now, if all that happened, why can't you make it right?
well, for one thing, not wanting to argue with you, I understand your feeling on it. The price of the book was built into the price of the event, along with a lot of other things that were built into the price of the event. Some of those things did not happen. Other things that we did not plan to build into the price of the event happened, and they were built into it. You got your money's worth. If you'd like to demand $25 back from us, we'll do our best to give it to you, but I didn't get $25 back because I didn't specifically buy a book. No one specifically bought a book for $25. That's unfortunately a bit of a myth because that's what happened in the past. This last year we did not put out a cost at all. No one saw the contract except the board of directors. No one knew what the bid was. No one knew what the cost was. We did it all in-house. We wanted to make up for the fact that previous years had been done wrong. And we got run over. It got it done wrong. It's a problem. I agree. But sending $25 back to you arbitrarily because we think that's a good price, we can't do that. Because we didn't charge you that. You didn't pay $25 for the book. You know, it was included in the price of the package. That would be like me telling you, I'm sorry, I have to dissect from you part of that dinner that we didn't charge you for. Because we got a second entree. You know, I mean, it was part of the package. It was part of the package. And now you're legally barred from producing the book. I don't know what else to say. We're doing our best on that.
I'm Paul Raines, the treasurer, and I stepped into this organization just about the time that it was splitting, okay? But I was on the committee. I stepped into the board about the time it was splitting, but I was on the committee for San Diego. He's exactly right. We built it. I'm on Social Security also, so I know what you're talking about a fixed income. Thank God my Santa Claus organization takes more than good care of me at the end of the season, but that's where I'm at, okay? we would love to give you back your money. But if we gave you your money back, they'd have to give me my money back. They'd have to give you guys all your money back. And like Rob said, we didn't get $25 from you. We said the book was going to be included, and we did a lot of things, but we didn't charge you for the book. It was just going to be included. Now, my feeling is if you have a problem, go to San Diego, see that man down there, and say, where's my book? You owe it to me.
Wait a minute, it was all done under the name of Forbes.
Exactly.
Right.
All
And we're no longer
And we're no longer Forbes.
It was all budgeted in. Well, so what? If it happened under Forbes, and you guys took it over, and that's it. And everybody got messed up.
We've answered his question. Yeah, we've answered his question.
I wish we could, but we can't. We're no longer Forbes.
Anyone else? Questions? I would like to do one more thing. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Am I right to understand that,
Go up with them.
Yeah.
am I right in understanding that the people who moved from Forbes to IBRBS are not going to be charged annual dues this year? Is that correct?
Yes. Everyone who is a member of Forbes, during last year, anytime during 2012, you're a new member through 2013. Your dues got renewed automatically. That was part of giving you back your money, because dues are $25, which is where I think the $25 figure came from.
What about the lifetime members?
We're working on that. I'm a lifetime member, so I didn't, I paid my full ride.
You're still a member of...
Yeah, I'm still a member of, yeah.
I think the most important thing to understand here is the only thing that changed about this organization is the name, and that's it. Your membership hasn't changed. One of the ways that we were paying back that $25 for the photo book was by extending the membership so to everybody, so that this year you don't have to send in that $25. We're covering that. So the main thing to understand is that all we've done is change names. Even the corporate number, that's the reason why we're still suspended. Our federal ID is exactly the same. Our state registration number, corporation number, is exactly the same as it was under that other organization. Technically, we're not even allowed to say that name for pressure of being sued. So the main thing to understand is that nothing has changed. Your membership hasn't changed. Your organization structurally hasn't changed. All that has changed is the name. Again, to answer your question about the book and all that kind of stuff, we're right. We are forbidden to use the Forbes name, and the main thing to understand is that if we use it, they can turn around and sue us. Right now, you wanted to know why we can't do something about it, is because under California law, until we get our suspension lifted, we can't do anything legally inside the state of California. We can't sue, we can't enter into a contract in California, we can't do anything in California until we get the suspension lifted. So even if we wanted to sue the vendor, we can't at this particular point. So we'll see what happens in the future. But we're trying to make it up by extending the memberships and making sure that the organization continue as it is.
Yes, go ahead.
You've mentioned several times that there's litigation going on. I understand that you can't go into specifics, but can you give us a general overview of what you're doing?
Everyone hear that? Okay. He was asking specifically, is there going to be any litigation concerning the people who took the old name and our new board of IBRBS? I really can't say. The lawyers have asked us not to talk too much about it. Here's what I can tell you. The attorneys that we have divided what we're doing into two sections. We're doing section 1 right now, which is called recovery. And the recovery process is getting our name straight, getting our taxes paid, getting everything taken care of so that we can be a legal nonprofit entity in California. That's phase 1.
In California?
In California. in California.
Fine federally, everything.
Everything's fine federally.
Everything, we're fine federally.
Phase 2 is the phase they call discovery. That is when our attorneys are going to be taking us individually, the board of directors, going through our records, interviewing us, asking everyone what they knew, when they knew it, taking our emails and all that stuff. That is going to be the recovery process. Our attorneys are pursuing a recovery process. I cannot tell you what the end result of that process is going to be, but it will start when we are square with the state of California. And that's as far as I can go with it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That shows that you're doing something.
Anyone else? Sure. Come on up here.
Just a question. We'd like to know, it's pretty impressive that you have 1,020 to 1,050 members. I'd like to know, of those members, how many are designer bearded Santas and how many are the real bearded Santas?
Not a one.
Cool.
0. We are a real bearded association. If someone has told you that this group, this board of directors, is thinking of changing the focus of our group to bring in non-real bearded Santas as full members, that is a lie. That is a rumor. It is unsubstantiated in truth. We will be continuously an association for real bearded Santas. Got that? Very good. Anyone else? Now, that said, I'm going to prove myself a liar. Tommy Avalon, I need to borrow you for a minute. How you doing, Tommy?
Good, how are you?
I love this guy. Does anyone here know Tommy? Okay. Tommy, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tommy.
Thank you. Tommy is from New Jersey. Tommy has been traveling around the country with a very single-minded goal to make a documentary about Santa Clauses. And all of you are going to roll your eyes and go, oh, great, another documentary about Santa Clauses. Because, you know, we see these guys like, 15, 20 times a year. You know, I mean, nothing personal. We love you. But Tommy has done something that is unique and is different. And he has done something that other documentarians have not done, at least since I've been involved with professional Santa Claus. Tommy has broken through the wall of silence that we Santa Clauses build around ourselves. The great mantra of the Santa Claus community for the last several years, especially since the breakup of the Orbs group, has been, don't tell the press. Do not tell the press. Do not let them know what happened. We cannot stand another embarrassment. This is a black eye to Santas. We need to look professionals. Hide it from the press. Tommy has been interviewing Santas around the country. He came to my home. He went around here. And I'm here to tell you right now, folks, the press already knows. And you want to know something else? They don't care. They don't care. We're another nonprofit association with 1,000 some-odd members who are having growing pains on their board of directors. It's the same thing the magicians, clowns, balloon wrappers, face painters, everybody else goes through when they form a group. Tommy, to his great credit with his crew, has gone out for the past 18 months?
Yeah, I guess.
18 months, and has interviewed all sides of the Santa, what we would euphemistically call the Santa Wars. Throughout the entire country, he has been around everywhere, interviewing every single Santa, giving them a completely open forum to present their side. He's engaged them in conversation. He's not only engaged them in conversation with him, he has engaged them to have conversations with us. Through Tommy's work the last 18 months, a lot of Santas who are not understood very well in this community and across the nation have become known to Tommy, and then through Tommy, known to each other. And that's been really wonderful. The unfortunate side effect is, you'll notice he now has a beard growing. Rather sad. And
I've gained weight too.
He has.
Work on that cookie show and a few more there.
Tommy called me up last week, 2 weeks ago, and wanted to know if I would mind too terribly fulfilling a favor to him. And I said that I would really do anything for him. And he said that after all this time he has spent with the Santa Claus group across the country and everywhere, could I please possibly see it in my heart to make him an honorary member of our association? So, you might have heard, by the way, I don't like going on about this. I was kind of under the weather the last couple of weeks. I was in the hospital for a while. I have this printed at home. I didn't bring it. I'm sending you a copy, but I'm going to read it right now. IBRBS, the International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas, be it known that on this day, the 20th of January, 2013, the president of IBRBS did exercise his prerogative, lest his prerogative become lazy and out of shape, and hereby bestow this beautiful yet otherwise completely worthless honorary membership to a friendly but otherwise undeserving gentleman, Tommy Avalon. who has learned, after hanging around a frighteningly large number of our community for a frighteningly long period of time, that some things are just not to be taken seriously. Seriously. Tommy, we're going to put you on our bill. You are now an honorary member.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. I really like.
He has a beard.
He has a beard.
I once grew a year beard to raise money for cancer. What, Bob? Bob was jealous because I wasn't taping him all day today. Sorry. Bob Girardi's one of the Santas we're following around for the year. We followed around about 5 Santas, seeing what they do on the off season. Santa communities and the Santa organizations came up in that, so we addressed it, and it was an interesting time. And the movie's going to be I Am Santa Claus. We're hoping to edit it June, July, and hopefully out sometime 2014. So I appreciate all the time you gave me and the releases you signed. And thank you, and hopefully never have to talk to any one of you guys again.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Kevin, are you back?
I'm working on it.
Yay! Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I hope everybody understood everything he said. Everything was 100%. 100%. We're not trying to hide anything from anybody. We're as open as we can possibly be at this moment in time. Well, with that done, let's have some fun.